Hi, everybody. This is Mr. Esparza.
Hello.
So we'll start the Paramount Planning Commission is called to order. Would everybody stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now we have the roll call of members.
Commissioner Abrego,
Here.
Commissioner Esparza,
Here. I need a motion.
I make a motion, we approve or is that the right way? I make a motion, we approve the minutes of May 12th, 2020. Oh, sorry.
was that Commissioner Abrego?
Yes.
Is there a second? Commissioner Esparza?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so Commissioner Abrego and Commissioner Esparza?
Yes.
Okay, for a
Yes.
couple of minutes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And the second item is the oath of office.
Thank you, Commissioner Esparza. Thank you, gentlemen. I will be administering the oath of office to you this evening. Once it is read, I will call on each of you individually to hear your response. Mr. Bautista, Mr. Gutierrez, and Mr. Weisenberger, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which you are about to enter? Mr. Bautista, your response, sir?
I do.
Congratulations, Commissioner Bautista. Mr. Gutierrez, your response, sir?
I do.
Congratulations, Commissioner Gutierrez. Mr. Weisenberger, your response, please, sir.
I do.
Congratulations, Commissioner Weisenberger. Congratulations, Commissioners, and thank you. You may now be seated.
Yes, and congratulations, Commissioners Weisenberger, Bautista, and Gutierrez. And we'll move on to the reorganization. So I'll go ahead and open the nominations for the office of Commission Chair for the Planning Commission. Do we have any nominations?
I nominate Abrego. This is Esparza.
Do we have any other nominations? Okay, nominations are closed. Valerie will take a roll call vote. Please indicate your choice for chairman of the Planning Commission.
Thank you. Please indicate your choice for chair. Commissioner Abrego,
Abrego.
Commissioner Bautista,
Abrego.
Commissioner Esparza,
Abrego.
Commissioner Gutierrez,
Abrego.
Commissioner Weisenberger.
Abrego.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Commission Chair Abrego. Now I'll turn it over to you to open up the nominations for Vice Chairman.
Okay, we'd like to open the nominations for Office of Commission Vice Chair. Can I get do we have any nominations from anyone?
This is Mr. Weisenberger. I nominate Mr. Esparza for Vice Chair.
Any other nominations?
No.
Okay, so then can we get a roll call for approval for Esparza?
Sure. When called, please indicate your choice for vice chair. Commissioner Bautista,
Esparza.
Commissioner Esparza,
Esparza.
Commissioner Gutierrez,
Esparza?
Commissioner Weisenberger,
Esparza.
Commission Chair Abrego.
Esparza.
Congratulations, Commission
Okay.
Vice Chair Esparza.
Thank you.
Okay, we move to the next item, which is public comment.
No public comments, sir.
Next item, old business. reports. We've got the zoning ordinance text amendment number 17, a request to establish regulations for art in public places on private property citywide.
Yes,
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, yes, this item is a request to establish regulations for art in public places on private property. The commission first heard this item in March. Excuse me. We have made minor modifications based on commissioner comments, and Assistant Planning Director John King will go over this item.
Okay, thank you, John. Thank you, Chair Abrego and commissioners.
Thank you.
So this is, as John mentioned, a zoning ordinance text amendment. So for the new commissioners, this is one of the many types of applications that you'll be reviewing. This is an example of when we change regulations to the zoning ordinance, to the zoning code, that it goes to the Planning Commission first for your recommendation, and then goes to the City Council for their review and approval. So I want to thank you for what you're about to do. Here's some examples of some existing murals in town. As you know, we don't have too many, but they are gaining popularity throughout Southern California and really internationally. At the left is a mural here in town on Somerset, on the west part of town, west of Orange, and with birds that ties into the Los Angeles River. And on the right is where it used to be Starbucks before it moved to the former KFC, tile mural with some historic images of Iceland and Zamboni and the Zamboni ice resurfacer. So again, this is a recommendation to the council to adopt a zoning ordinance text amendment, a ZOTA, to establish regulations for art in public places on private land citywide. It did go to the Planning Commission in March, and two Paramount residents spoke strongly in favor of the draft ordinance. The commission did have a little bit of a discussion and asked staff to return with some minor adjustments and bring it back. So that's where we are today. The purpose of this ordinance, so as you know, art is a tradition in Paramount, different types, sculptures and performances. And here's a photo showing one example as you'll look through your slides. The purpose is to maintain Paramount's art and culture for generations, to recognize the vital importance of the arts to the city as a whole, and to make a lasting contribution to the intellectual, emotional, and creative life of the community at large, creating a more desirable community to live, work, and recreate or to play. So we went over this in March, but I thought we thought with three newly appointed commissioners that it would be just good to have just a quick recap. Types of public art, there's permanent and there's temporary. So permanent could include, and this is just a sample list, and there could be hybrid types: murals, wall murals, stained glass, statues, sculptures, water fountains, carvings, mosaics, and photographs. And we're also expanding the definition to also include temporary installations or creative placemaking, the creative use of land for performances or installations. And one important thing, so a lot of this type of art would be funded through developers, through development fees. And it's important that to ensure that these types of performances are documented for the long term, that there's some type of maybe photographs that go on the city website or a website, a standalone website that lasts. So it's very important to ensure that those monies are well spent and documented. An example would be in the city of Los Angeles. They take, for example, the Bunker Hill area of downtown Los Angeles. In lieu of sculptures, developers will fund actual performances. And here's a little photo of those types of performances. They actually have a summer series every year, so maybe not this year, but a well-publicized summer series. Art's been a mainstay in Paramount for a long time. We actually had a program that developed in the mid-'80s That was based on, here's some articles you'll see. Paramount initiates public art program, and then there's an example of an artist, Arlene Cartosian. These art pieces were donations by private developers, which was great at the time, but the city really wanted a mechanism to have a continuous funding source. So on the next slide, you'll see there's information about a public art development fee the City Council implemented in 1993, which requires for any city project on private land valued over $100,000, so it doesn't hurt the little guy, they have to pay a fee of 1% of the value of the project that goes toward art. And with that, those funds have gone to many, many types of sculptural and other types of art pieces throughout Paramount. So we've been fortunate. We're very, the council was very forward thinking in the 90s. But now we're looking at one thing in particular is wall murals. They've become more popular. You know, they've been around forever. You know, cave writings and you know, you go to the pyramids of Mexico and so you'll see some ancient writings on walls there, petroglyphs here in the Americas. So on and on till today. Now it's more creative, and cities are really looking forward to doing more types of art. So with that, the city council directed staff over the summer to do some research on murals and making sure we get it right. And there's a photo of the emoji house in one of the beach cities here in Southern California that was considered offensive by some of the neighbors. So that's what we don't want. Art can provoke, but we don't want it to offend. And so in November, the council reviewed a preliminary proposal, and so they asked the planning department and administrative services. You might know a management analyst, Danny Elizares, who really was key in putting these regulations together, along with the city attorney. And the focus here is, again, freely accessible art on private property. So the art, we had a number of regulations in place, and really to protect the city and the funds that go in. Artwork has to be displayed in an area that's open and freely acceptable, at least 10 hours a day, and has to be very compatible to the neighborhood, not be strikingly stand out. The artwork would have to be designed and constructed or predominantly guided by a person experienced in that type of art. So the whole thought of this is we would look forward to community-based art to be very inclusive and have participation of the public, but to have at least guidance by someone who has some background in whatever type of art we're looking at. We would not like art that's mass-produced. We're looking for original pieces of art. And we're not looking for, what we don't want is artwork that directly promotes a business or service. And there's a photo here. You can see it's a green dinosaur, and that represents, it's a corporate logo for Sinclair Gas. And this is something that went up at Paramount and Alondra. It's not a bad type of art in itself, but it is commercial art. We're looking for a creative, non-commercial art, something that goes beyond a particular business, not a corporate logo. So for example, if this gas station were to be taken over by Chevron does not want to see their competitor's logo on their building. So we would be in favor of a type of wall mural that goes beyond Sinclair Gas or Chevron. We don't want artwork that's inconsistent with the general peace, health, safety, general welfare. And we don't want anything that's in bad taste, obscene. You don't want hate speech or profanity. And here's an example. So an article in the Los Angeles Times, this is about a year and a half ago, there was a mural installed in Koreatown at the site of the old Ambassador Hotel. And it was a tribute, that's Ava Gardner. You can see the background that could be very colorful, and it was appreciated by a lot of members of the community there. But it turns out that background is actually offensive to a lot of the Korean Americans there, that it represents something very different. You can see the headline, "A mural at a Koreatown school pays homage to classic Hollywood." Some say it's as offensive as a swastika, so we don't want that. Since we really are looking forward to wall murals, I think there's a lot of agreement that in this time recovering from COVID-19, the COVID-19 pandemic, it's a good time to get some color. We have a lot of compliments about the buildings here in town, but maybe it's time for a little splash of color and creativity. So murals, that's one way to do it. And this is just some examples from some neighboring cities. You'll see on upper left, there's Southgate. It says Southgate, but if you look carefully, there are images that are very history-based. There's something about Amelia Earhart, who flew and had a real connection to Southgate. Upper right is in the Lincoln Heights neighborhood of Los Angeles, and there's some icons and representations that that are very connected to that part of town and the state in general. Bottom left is something by an artist named Man One. Those are his parents. That's his mom and dad. It's very colorful. So that's something that's very personal to the artist and great for the community. Bottom middle, artist Mur Young. This is it's in the city of Long Beach, North Long Beach, just a few blocks south of City Hall. You might have seen it. It's a liquor store that had a lot of graffiti and vandalism. Well, they have this project that really brightens up the area and keeps vandals away. And then bottom right, artist Sergio Robledo. This is actually brand new. This went up just a few days ago in Downey, downtown Downey, the Lock and Key. So a lot of different types of art. Last time we talked about this, so the March Planning Commission meeting, the commission had some concerns about what they said, that maybe this ordinance was a little over restrictive, maybe a little bureaucratic, some issues. They wanted to make sure that as a commission, wanted to make sure that we got to a program that's very inclusive, that very equitable type of program with a lot of community participation. There were some concerns about the wording of ordinance findings. And just want to point out, so actually the ordinance findings, it's language that we use for just about every types of these municipal code amendments, the zoning ordinance text amendments, and it's they're to protect the city, to make sure that we're constitutionally sound. And maybe the city attorney can speak more about that later if you have questions. And restrictiveness, yes. So, and the bureaucraticness. Honestly, yes, municipal code language can be a little bureaucratic, but it's our job to protect the city, and then really to take the next step after that, to present a very user-friendly graphical program in the coming months, and that's what we really want to do. So we did make some minor changes to better distinguish requirements for new development versus requirements for adding art like a mural to existing buildings. So there is quite a difference. When there's a new 2-story commercial building that has an art component, we want to make sure that there's top insurance involved, and you want to make sure that the artist doesn't go AWOL, as we talked about. Now, if you're adding a mural to a little side street or a small area of a building, we really don't want to be quite as intense. So we did update the code to reflect that. We also updated the agenda report that you have to indicate that community-based art in freely acceptable places will be welcomed with guidance from an artist or artists experienced in that type of art. So there's a photo here. This is back to Lincoln Heights, and there's a great program partnering with the high school with professional muralists who come out and help the kids think up ideas, brainstorm, go out to the community, and then they help them with the technical side, actually getting the art on the wall. That's really what we want. So the city, Paramount fully intends to strongly promote arts programming as funding allows, continue what we've been doing. And we do recommend that you not only recommend approval to the city council, that you formally recommend to the city council to direct staff to promptly prepare a mural promotion program. We think that would be great for everybody. And this type of effort will rely on the skills and staffing of multiple departments in the city for promotions, for graphics, communications, and other areas. We really want to do this right and to get the support and participation of the community at large. And we want to help identify locations, get some great artists, and encourage new artists. The next generation. So the next slide is a place not too far from here, the Pacoima neighborhood of the city of Los Angeles. This is in the northeast San Fernando Valley. You go to different cities all over California, and a lot of them do have these types of programs. This is one that it's actually called the Pacoima Mural Mile. It's has quite a name for itself now. And you can see there's different types of murals. There's one, it's called the bottom left, the Day the Music Died. So you see Buddy Holly and Richie Valens and the Big Bopper and somebody else the tie-in here is that Richie Valens lived in Pacoima, so it's very place-based, and that's one thought to look at. History, culture, you can see some different thoughts here. So in summary, the planning department would receive all applications for this type of program, would develop an application, make it very easy to look at and use and submit. And the development review board would review and approve art proposals for private property. And of course, there's an appeal process. At the right, there's a photo of the tile mural going up when it was getting installed. So that's really it. So we do recommend approval. We recommend that you adopt the resolution recommending that the City Council adopt an ordinance for zoning ordinance text amendment number 17. Secondly, to also clearly to recommend that the City Council directs city staff to promptly prepare a mural promotion program. And that's all I have, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
This is Esparza. Can I go ahead?
Go ahead, Barbara.
No, I would just, John, what I'd like to just mention that what you're looking at more is like the Pacoima Mural Mile, something like that, for Paramount. If we adopt a resolution.
That is one thought. So there's a lot of opportunities, and there's different ways to go about this. We do have a big industrial area in town that happens to get a lot of graffiti. That's one side, the industrial area, like Texaco and east and west of Garfield, and that could be you can look at buildings as almost like a blank canvas right now. A lot of opportunities, and then also in our commercial areas, just some little key spots along Paramount Boulevard, for example. You might recall in March we had a public speaker who was strongly advocated for the wall next to the historic hay tree to have an image of the hay market, or something very historic based to go on that wall. So really, sky's the limit. In the creative world, there's a lot of ways to go about this.
Right. Especially the way the way Paramount is their background, a cow country and so forth. So that would be something.
Okay.
Hello,
All right. Thank you, John.
this is Commissioner Bautista. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my question is on the slide that we saw in the beach community with the house painted in pink and the emoji signs. So just my question is, in the actual resolution, will there be, in the actual laws, will there be some type of I don't want to say measurements or anything, but for example, this house that has a lot of windows, I just want to ensure that we're looking more as far as areas that do have more of that actual space to be a continuous piece of art for the community, right? Not so much with a large home with the area maybe that could be painted. I just want to clear that up. We don't want to go into that here, correct?
Right. That's a good point, Commissioner Bautista. So actually, in the draft ordinance, there is a section about residential areas, and for residential areas, a building would have to have a minimum of 3 stories to be considered, and there really aren't too many of those, and that's just to get it in the door, just for us to consider. for you to consider. And also, I believe there's something that it's okay if it's in the alley. So maybe some not facing a public street. So possibly there could be some of our alleys do have problems with graffiti and vandalism. So that could be another opportunity for residential areas.
Yeah, because I mean, I would. This is a great idea. I think it's something that's going to really benefit our community, especially in these times, like you stated. But obviously, it's going to be really difficult to find a lot of buildings with over 3 stories. So maybe if there's also like a continuous, like there's even where I live, there's a business that attaches to our residential area. They have a really big part. The back of their business is actually quite large. It's only 2-story, but obviously, in the event that the community would want something like that.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
That would be
I don't think I was clear. I meant for residential areas is the 3-story minimum. For commercial areas, there's no minimum height. So you're right. Absolutely.
Okay.
We can go up and down Paramount Boulevard. We could probably find 30 great locations. You're right.
And Commissioner Bautista.
John, I also have a question.
I think we need to stay on track, you guys. I don't think we need to stay on track. So this is an open public hearing. So I need to hear if we have any persons in the public that are in favor or opposed to this amendment.
No, we have not received any emails in favor or opposed to speak.
Okay. I'm sorry. Am I following the protocol? Can I bring it up for any questions from our commissioners?
You would close the public hearing right now?
Okay. So I need a motion to close the public hearing.
I make a motion to close it.
second that, Commissioner Bautista.
Who seconded it? I'm sorry. Was that Commissioner Bautista? Okay.
I think Bautista second to close it.
Thank you.
That is correct.
I can proceed with the roll call. Commissioner Bautista?
Here.
Commissioner Gutierrez?
Present.
Commissioner Weisenberger?
Yes.
Commission Vice Chair Esparza?
Yes.
Commission Chair Abrego?
Yeah. All right. Can I open it now to questions from our fellow commissioners?
Yes.
Okay, you guys. All right. What was the question?
I could.
Go ahead.
I could address something that Commissioner Bautista brought up. When we receive an application for a mural or for a mural or a piece of art, that will come to the Development Review Board to review and approve. So you have a lot of control over what would be approved.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments questions or comments from our commissioners?
No.
Okay. Can I get a motion for adopting Planning Commission Resolution Number PC 20010, recommending that the City of Council approving zoning ordinance X Amendment Number 17?
I'll make a motion. This is Esparza to approve it.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
I'm sorry, which commissioner was that?
Gutierrez?
Thank you. Commission Chair Abrego, roll call, thank you. Commissioner Bautista?
Yay.
Commissioner Gutierrez?
Present.
Commissioner Weisenberger?
Yes.
Commission Vice Chair Esparza?
Yes.
Commission Chair Abrego?
Yes.
Thank you.
And second, we have a recommendation, the Planning Commission formally to recommend the City of Council to direct staff to promptly prepare a MURAL promotion program. Is this something I get a motion on as well? I'm asking Carver.
No, you've done that already.
Okay. All right, so we'll move to the next item, or let's see here. Yes. Moving to the next item, number 5. Conditional use permit number 886, a request by Tow World, Inc. to allow the operation of a business that assembles and sells tow trucks at 7300 Somerset Boulevard in the M1 light manufacturing zone.
Yes.
Staff report.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I'll be giving the staff report for this. So this item is a request to allow the operation of a business that assembles and sells tow trucks. The applicant is Tow World, and they are proposing to locate the business at 7300 Somerset Boulevard in the light manufacturing zone. The property contains 79,800 square feet, and it has a building that contains 44,000 square feet. There are 64 parking places on site. The primary operations include the assembly of tow trucks within the 44,000 square foot building. The applicant will also sell tow trucks from the site. The display area will be located at the northeast section of the property. And as you can see on the site plan, the tow truck area is up to the right-hand corner of the slide, and the outdoor storage area, which is an ancillary use and will occupy about 3.67% of the property, and that would be located on either side of the building. And we've got a picture of the building from 2 different angles. And then if you turn your slide presentation to the aerial, the subject property is outlined and shaded in orange. And conditions of this, should it be approved, would include the installation of screen walls to shield the outdoor storage from off-site view. Another condition would be the installation of additional landscaping to include canopy trees in the front setback. The applicant would also be required to meet stormwater management requirements and to comply with building and safety code requirements. The applicant would also be required to comply with all LA County Fire Department requirements. And finally, the applicant would be required to designate the city as the point of sale for the tow trucks for sales tax purposes. And it is recommended that the Planning Commission adopt Resolution 20017, approving conditional use permit 886, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from our commissioners?
No, for my part.
I think you should.
This is a public hearing.
Right.
So can we know if there's anyone in favor or anyone opposed?
No, we do not have any emails or requests to speak in favor or opposed.
Okay, can I get a motion to close this public hearing?
I make a motion. This is Weisenberger.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I'll second it as far as.
Roll call.
Commissioner Bautista?
Yes?
Commissioner Gutierrez?
Yes.
Commissioner Weisenberger?
Yes.
Commission Vice Chair Esparza?
Yes.
Commission Chair Abrego?
Yes. And now we need a motion in order for adopting Planning Commission Resolution number PC 20017, approving the request by Tow World, Inc. to allow operation of a business that assembles and sells tow trucks at the 7300 Somerset Boulevard on the M1 light manufacturing zone. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion. This is Weisenberger that we so moved what the chairman said.
Second?
I'll second it. This is Esparza.
Okay. Can I get roll call, please?
Commissioner Bautista?
Yes?
Commissioner Gutierrez?
Yes.
Commissioner Weisenberger?
Yes.
Commission Vice Chair Esparza?
Yes.
Commission Chair Abrego.
Yes. Okay, new business. Oral report from city council actions.
Yes, Mr. Chair, at the council meeting last week, we gave a presentation on temporary outdoor dining for restaurants. You will also be hearing that presentation during the Economic Development Board meeting later this evening. And the council was also given a presentation on recent development activity in the city. And that was it.
Thank you, John. Next item is comments. Any comments from our city attorney, John?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd like to just congratulate you, Mr. Abrego, as the chair of the Planning Commission, and also Commissioner Esparza as the board vice chair. And I would like to also congratulate our new planning commissioners, Commissioner Gutierrez, Weisenberger, and Commissioner Bautista. We're very happy that you're on board, and when things get back to normal and we're able to meet, we can sit down and discuss any issues that you may have. And also at some point, we're probably going to have a little study session with all of you on the roles and responsibilities of the Planning Commission. And for those who are on the Planning Commission already, this will be a refresher course. And for your new members, I think you'll find it very informative, but we'll get with that. And we're all here to assist you in order that you be very successful as Planning Commissioners. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, John. Any comments from our commissioners?
No.
No.
Okay.
No, right now.
Move on to staff. Any comments from staff?
No comments from staff.
Okay, so this planning commission is adjourned. Our next meeting will be July 14th, 2020, 6 p.m. So 6:37 p.m. right now.
July 14th?
July 14th.
Board Member Gutierrez.
Present.
Board Member Weisenberger.
Here.
Board Vice Chair Abrego.
Here.
Board Chair Esparza.
Here. Okay. Now, I need a motion. Item 1 is approval of minutes of May 12th.
I make a motion. This is Commissioner Abrego, or Vice Commissioner Abrego. I make a motion that we approve the minutes for May 12th of the Development Review Board.
And I'll second it, Esparza.
Ready for roll call, Board Chair? Board Member Bautista.
Here?
Board Member Gutierrez.
Here.
Board Member Weisenberger.
Here.
Board Vice Chair Abrego.
Here.
Board Chair Esparza.
Here. And item 2 is the reorganization of the Development Review Board.
Yes, I'll go ahead and open the nominations for office of board chair. Do we have any nominations?
This is Mr. Weisenberger. I'd like to nominate Mr. Esparza for the chair.
Do we have any other nominations? Okay, we'll do a roll call.
Thank you. When called, please indicate your choice for Board Chair. Board Member Abrego.
Esparza.
Board Member Bautista.
Esparza, yeah.
Board Member Esparza.
Esparza.
Board Member Gutierrez.
Esparza.
Board Member Weisenberger.
Esparza.
Congratulations, Board Chair Esparza.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, you would open the nominations for vice chair?
Right. Now I'll make the board chair the open nominations for office of vice chair. I have any nominations?
This is for Abrego. I'd like to nominate Gutierrez.
Do we
As
have
vice
any other
chair.
nominations? Excuse me. Do we have any other nominations for vice chair?
With no further nominations, when called, please indicate your choice for board vice chair. Board Member Abrego,
Gutierrez.
Board Member Bautista,
Gutierrez.
Board Member Gutierrez,
Gutierrez.
Board Member Weisenberger,
Gutierrez.
Board Chair Esparza.
Gutierrez.
Congratulations, Board Vice Chair Gutierrez.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's see. We'll go to, do we have any public comments?
No public
New
comment.
business? New business? Reports? Okay, so we'll go to item 3, which is DRA number 20005. And that's a request by Francisco Villalobos Casillas, GDL Design, for Ana Gonzalez and Hector Maraquin to construct a 2,704 square foot single family dwelling with a detached 2-car garage on a vacant lot at 13629 Rancho Camino Drive in the PDPS Plan Development and Performance Standards Zone. What I have to do on this item is I have to abstain myself on this. Okay?
Yes, you would recuse yourself.
Right.
Yes, and Chair, the Vice Chair then will take over this application.
Yes.
So Vice Chair Gutierrez, if you would like, we could
Yep.
do the staff report.
Okay.
Okay, great. So this is a request to construct a new home up in the northwest section of the city, and planning intern Erica Barbero will give you the details. Erica?
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you so much, John, and good evening, Development Review Board members. So, as mentioned, the Development Review Application 20005 is located at 13629 Rancho Camino Drive, and it is for Francisco Villalobos Casillas for GDL Designs, as previously mentioned. Is that better? Okay. Is that better? Okay. So the request is to construct a 2-story, 2,700 square foot home and a 441 square foot detached 2-car garage. When complete, the dwelling will have 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. And as mentioned, it is in the PDPS zone. And the property owner does own the home adjacent to the lot. The next slide, you'll see an aerial shot of where the property is located. So it is right in between the Los Angeles River and Orange Avenue. It's good to mention that right next to it is the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power right-of-way, which is occupied by a plant nursery. And it's also right next to the trail, multi-use trail of the LA River. The next slide, you'll see where the proposed structure will be standing. So looking south where the truck is, that's where the proposed structure will be placed. And looking north, so the far back of the property, you'll see there are trees currently in the area. The designer was generous enough to provide aerial footage of the property. So unfortunately, you cannot see it, but the video shows, drone footage where this property owner home starts, the first home starts, and provides, a panning of the location. So you'll see the LA River, the trail, the nursery, and once you get towards the back of the lot, you'll see the freeway. On the next slide, you'll see an image of the plot plan. So to the north is where the property structure will be located. Behind the home will be the 2-car garage. And also the landscaping will be improved in the very front where the driveway is located. The next slide, you'll see the floor plan. So the first floor will be comprised of a living room, dining room, bedroom, kitchen and laundry and bathroom facilities. There will also be 2 patios towards the back. The second floor, you'll see the 5 bedrooms. 3 of the 5 bedrooms will have a balcony, and one of the bedrooms will have a master bedroom, which will also have a bathroom, and another bathroom towards the staircase. On this slide, you'll see the elevations of the property. So the north is the primary entrance to the home. The south elevation will be towards the back, and then you see the west and east elevations. You'll see that the home will have Spanish-style tiles, veneer stone columns, and decorative wrought iron rails. Staff recommends the approval development review application 20005. My mistake, that should be a 5, not a 6. The applicant is not here, but is on I can contact him in the event that board members have any questions about the property. Thank you.
Okay. Harris, we'll need a motion. You'll have to bring up. We need a motion to approve.
Bring a motion to approve.
This is,
A motion to approve this request.
make a motion to approve this item.
It's Commissioner Bautista, I second that.
Board Vice Chair, would you like a roll call?
Yes.
Board
Yes,
member,
not me. Sorry, not me.
Board Member Abrego,
Yes.
Board Member Bautista, Board Member Bautista,
Yes.
Board Member Weisenberger,
Yes.
Board Vice Chair Gutierrez.
Yes.
Okay, Chairman, Board Chair Esparza, if you want to take over now.
Okay. And that would be item 4. And that would be, item 4 would be the DRA number 20008. And that's a request by Jay Sung Lee, is to remodel an existing commercial building for a commercial rehabilitation program project at 15504-08 Paramount Boulevard in the C3 General Commercial Zone. Staff?
Yes, Board Chair Esparza. The next 2 items are projects in the Commercial Rehabilitation Program, and both projects are located on Paramount Boulevard, and Assistant Planning Director John King will go over the details with you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Board Chair and board members. So yes, for this application and for the next one you'll be reviewing, they're part of the Commercial Rehabilitation Program. Just a quick overview. This is a program that the city has had in place since the early 80s. So it's a longstanding program that's assisted countless property owners and business owners in fixing up the outside of their properties, give them a contemporary boost or some curb appeal, and also taking care of some issues like access, like ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act access. So it's done a lot for the community, and actually it can be contagious. So you can get other private owners who want to do the same. So this is, on the first slide, you'll see how it will look. Again, in the C3 zone, Central Business District. This is on Paramount, just south of Jefferson. And it's funded with Community Development Block Grant Funds, which is through HUD, the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development. 7,500 square foot property, and it's mixed use. So the front, the front is commercial, and there's a house in the back. And there's a slide with the an aerial photo. So you'll see Paramount running north and south, Jefferson running east and west, and it's just south of Domino's. So you'll see with the red circle, the front part of the property. The property is outlined with the yellow dashes. There's an alley in the back. And there's the next slide shows how it looks now. Kind of a series of these buildings. They've been around for a very long time. This one was actually remodeled in the mid-1980s to line up with what was going on in the mid-80s. And now it's time to bring it to the future, to now. Take it to the next slide, and you'll see how it's going to look. You're going to have and this is all on the outside, some decorative brickwork, a new awning along the southern windows, and the metal awning has a wood trellis feature on top of it. Storefront windows, new drought-tolerant landscaping. There's some decorative light fixtures, really nice. And then you'll see where it pops out. That entry will stay. It's kind of hard to tell with the rendering, but it'll have a new treatment with a combination of the brick, stucco, the aluminum reveals. Those are those lines that kind of break up the stucco face. A little bit of corrugated metal and wood. So really a great looking change that'll improve the whole area. Next slide is a site plan showing how this building at the front. And that's really it. We recommend approval and be happy to answer any questions.
I got a question.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a question. This is Jaime Abrego. The residential area in the rear, is the owner owns both the residential and the commercial building?
Yes. So this is a property that probably, I think it predates the city incorporation in the 50s. It's just, a legacy of before there were, the zoning regulations that you see today. So it's interesting. It's a traditional mixed use property with combination commercial and residential, owned by the same owner. Yes.
So, are I guess customers that visit this location, can they park in the residential driveway, or do they have to park on Paramount Boulevard?
They typically park on Paramount. They also park on Jefferson.
Okay.
And traditionally there has not been a conflict with parking and the neighbors in the back.
Okay, because I know Kathy's Bakery gets a little busy, and I've seen people park across Paramount Boulevard and then kind of almost jaywalk to go to that Kathy's Bakery. So I was just worried about parking in the area. But I thought because it's owned by the same owner, they would open up parking in the alley area, but apparently not, right?
Right. You'll see that if a family lives back there, they try to keep it for the residential use and for the tenants there.
Thank you, John. That's all I have, Ernie. No questions.
Anybody else? So I just have a. Go ahead.
Commissioner Bautista, no questions. No questions. Sir.
No question. Okay. I just have a John King. So we've never had a problem then with parking. Is that correct?
Well, I don't want to say there's never been a problem. It's nothing that we as the city are aware of. Through the years, there may have been a minor quibble, but nothing that's risen for them to contact the city to ask for the city to intervene.
Because, like you said, it's going to be. It looks nice now going down Paramount Boulevard, really, and like you said, some of the other owners will hopefully get on board, on this. So that was really my only question regarding parking. So
I think you can see that the parking on the image is limited time parking, because you can see it's tagged green.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions or anything before we make a motion? So Anyway, we'll make a motion in order to approve a request by J. Sung Lee to remodel an existing commercial building for a commercial rehabilitation program project at 1550408 Paramount Boulevard in the C3 General Commercial Zone. I need a motion.
I make a motion to approve program project at the 1550408. That's Jaime Abrego.
I'll second that.
I need
George Gutierrez.
Board Member Abrego?
Yes.
Board Member Bautista?
Yes.
Board Member Weisenberger?
Yes.
Board Vice Chair Gutierrez?
Yes.
Board Chair Esparza?
yes. Okay, we have item 5 now on our agenda, which is DRA number 20009, and that's a request by Marian Adrian to remodel an existing car wash building for a commercial rehabilitation program project at 13901 Paramount Boulevard in the Plan Development Performance Standard Zone. Staff?
Yes, Board Chair Esparza, John King will also give you this presentation.
Okay, thank you, John. And thank you again, Board Chair Esparza. So you'll know this when you see it. It's the self-serve car wash on Paramount Boulevard, north of Rosecrans at Pearl Street. So here you see an image, a rendering of how it will look, and I'll come back to that. So again, same program. It's with federal funds, and this zone is the Planned Development with Performance Standard Zone. It's 12,500 square foot property. And here's, you get to an aerial photo. It's at the southwest corner of Paramount and Pearl. It's outlined in the yellow dashes. And there's the canopy toward the front, and then there's a vacuum area toward the back. And then there's a photo of how it looks now. So it has a tile roof, and this was actually, like the last project, was remodeled in the 1980s to match what was popular at that time. So this project will strip away that mansard. It's called a mansard roof. I call it like a fast food, the old McDonald's type of roof. So that will go away. It's a little outdated. And then the stone or the block, it's like a slump stone. It even sounds outdated, slumpy. It will be replaced. And here, the next image is how it would look with a more contemporary kind of rock veneer, alpine style. And you'll see more of a up-to-date corrugated metal, which is very, kind of a contemporary architecture feature. Now the color is interesting. I call this like the mermaid look. It's kind of a spectrum of blue that kind of evokes water. It's a car wash, and it's called M&M. So a new sign would go up there. Also, the next slide shows how it lays out, and the parking lot's not looking great. So there would be a slurry seal, new asphalt that would touch up the parking lot. The landscaping. This all kind of started with the landscaping. It's looking a little unkempt and outdated. So that would be replaced with some new drought-tolerant landscaping. And the stamped concrete areas, treatments at the driveways would be touched up as well. So with that, we recommend approval. Would be a nice addition to that part of town. Thank you.
Yes, it will. It will look nice down at that part of town going down now, yes. Any questions from any board members?
No questions?
I have a question. This is Jaime Abrego again.
Go ahead.
I guess regarding parking on this area here. So what's the purpose of the parking other than probably throwing out their trash? Is that the purpose of the parking, or do we know?
Yes, and the vacuum areas. So I'll kind of back up to, you can see the vacuum stalls there. Oh, I guess you mean in the back.
Correct.
Yeah,
only because
that's really it.
I washed my car there and I've seen people park their car and then what they do is they walk around the wallway and then they walk into an apartment building that's next door or walk across the street to a mortuary. So I've seen that, personally seen it, but I was curious to hear what is the purpose of those parking stalls, and I think you answered it. You said it's either like a staging or it's made for vacuuming your car, correct?
That's right. I think it gets, from my understanding, it gets busier on weekends. Then you see it's more useful on Saturdays and Sundays.
That's the only questions I have.
So, this is Esparza. Do they use it sometimes for parking, or they don't? Some of the residential people around there. To your knowledge.
My observation is yes, I've seen it. I'm not familiar with the. I can't recall off the top of my head if the signs are posted from the property owner.
Right.
You know, basically saying that you'll be towed if you don't have any business there. I'm sure they do, but they may be a little more hands off than some other property owners. You know, just kind of really falls on the property owners.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. Any other questions regarding this motion? So, okay. Well, I'll make a motion in order to approve a request by Mariana Adrian to remodel an existing car wash building for a commercial rehabilitation program project at 13901 Paramount Boulevard in the Plan Development Performance Standard Zone. I need a motion to approve.
Commissioner
So
Bautista,
moved.
make a motion to approve.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Second.
Commissioner Gutierrez?
Board Member Abrego?
Yes.
Board Member Bautista?
Yes.
Board Member Weisenberger?
Yes.
Board Vice Chair Gutierrez?
Yes.
Board Chair Esparza?
Yes. Okay. So, any comments from board members? Staff?
No comments from staff.
Okay. So, the Paramount Development Review Board is adjourned to July 14th, 2020. Okay. Next is the Economic Development Board.
Okay, give me 1 second.
That would be Abrego.
Yeah. All right. Okay, we'd like to call order to the Economic Development Board meeting. It is 7 o'clock with 3 minutes. Can I get a roll call of members?
Board Member Bautista?
Here.
Board Member Esparza?
Here?
Board Member Gutierrez?
Here.
Board Member Weisenberger?
Here.
Board Vice Chair Abrego?
Here. Can we get approval of the minutes for May 12th, 2020?
I'll make a motion. This is Esparza of May 12th, 2020.
And Abrego will second.
Yes.
Board,
Roll call, please.
Board Member Bautista?
Yes. Yes.
Board Member Esparza?
Yes?
Board Member Gutierrez?
Yes.
Board Member Weisenberger?
Yes.
Board Vice Chair Abrego?
Yes. Next item is reorganization.
Yes, Mr. Board Vice Chair, I'll open the nominations for Office of Board Chair. Do we have
I
any
make a motion. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Do we have any nominations?
This is Esparza. I'll make a motion for board chair, Gordon Weisenberger. I nominate Gordon Weisenberger.
Do we have any nominations?
Gordon Weisenberger. 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 Gordon Weisen
Do you have any other nominations? Okay, we'll do roll call.
Thank you. When called, please indicate your choice for board chair. Board Member Abrego,
Weisenberger.
Board Member Bautista,
Weisenberger.
Board Member Esparza,
Weisenberg.
Board Member Gutierrez,
Weisenberger.
Board Member Weisenberger.
Weisenberger.
Congratulations, Board Chair Weisenberger.
Thank you. Okay, are there any public comments?
Mr. Chair, you would open for nominations for vice chair?
Oh, sorry about that. Yes. Okay. I'd like to open nominations for vice chair.
This is board member Jaime Abrego. I'd like to nominate Luke Bautista as for vice chair.
Are there any
Any
further
other
nominations? No further nominations? Thank you. When called, please indicate your choice for board vice chair. Board Member Abrego,
Bautista.
Board Member Bautista,
Bautista.
Board Member Esparza,
Bautista.
Board Member Gutierrez,
Bautista.
Board Chair Weisenberger.
Bautista.
Congratulations, Board Chair, Vice Chair Bautista.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, now we move to public comments.
No public comments.
Okay, let's move to new business.
Yes,
Is there any new?
Board Chair Weisenberger, John King will give a report on temporary outdoor dining for restaurants. John, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, John, and thank you, Board Chair Weisenberger. So this is a presentation that actually John Carver gave the City Council, so try my best to fill the shoes. So yeah, temporary outdoor dining program. So this is something that a lot of cities are doing here in the recovery phase post COVID-19, or getting into the post COVID-19 pandemic era. And just kind of a reminder, as I look at the new city logo that says "Safe, Healthy, and Attractive," our new motto. This really combines all three of those. So we're looking for safety, health, and keeping the city attractive. And that's really what we do. So outdoor dining. As you know, there's a number of businesses that have seating outdoors. Most restaurants in town, they can apply for a conditional use permit, which is one of the types of applications you'll be reviewing as planning commissioners. And that's to extend seating in the outdoors. Some examples are Alondra Hot Wings, Hiccups, Northgate, Cascada Refrescante, and kind of all over town. Those are seating areas directly related to one specific business. But then on the next slide, you'll see there are some common areas in town, common seating, like outside of Yogurtland and Jamba Juice, near Grocery Outlet, Clearwater Crossing at the northeast of Paramount and Alondra. So those are types of applications that you approve. And just a few months ago, the Planning Commission approved outdoor area for upcoming Tierra Mia Coffee at Rosecrans and Downey. So with this, now that the county gave the order, the state and the county gave the order for indoor dining to resume, there are restrictions. So restaurants cannot operate to the full dining capacity as before. And the county is also encouraging dining on the outdoors. They say it will be promote better health. So we're looking at the flexible use of private space and maybe some public space down the road. But right now we're focusing on private to temporarily repurpose areas like parking stalls and even some passageways between particular businesses. If you're familiar with the downtown area near IHOP, there's an area between IHOP and Japanese Castle, and just to the north between Japanese Castle and Maya Teriyaki, there's another area in between that would be great for some extra seating. The next slide talks about, really how timeless outdoor dining is. It's cross-cultural. It's all over the world, but it really takes on new meaning in this era, and the overlapping needs for health, safety, and socialization. So we want to get back to normal. Human nature, we're craving food with a buddy, with a group, but it has to be done safely and with health in mind. We don't want to, you hear a new wave of pandemic. We don't want that to happen. And there's a lot of inspiration coming from Europe and Lithuania in particular, and that made its way over here. So an earlier adopter in California is the city of San Jose, and actually the same week, then Long Beach soon looked to that as a model, and coming up with some ideas. And so the next couple slides, just some examples from some other cities, like San Jose, they call it San Jose al fresco, and they actually use it for a recreation space too. So indoor gyms, moving the exercise outdoors. Long Beach, and Long Beach, on the next slide, you see some graphics from an architectural firm called Studio 111, and you might know them without actually knowing them by name. They did the redesign of Paramount Boulevard, the downtown Paramount area between Jackson and Alondra, a little north of Alondra, which brought some mid-block crosswalks and crossings and narrowed the lanes a little bit to get more so wider space for pedestrians and some things called parklets. If you look in this image on the bottom left, a parklet is using street space for seating. So we have one of those in front of Jamba Juice, basically. So Studio 11, they're on top of things. City of Sierra Madre, they're going forward with this type of plan, get seating in their parking areas. Sacramento, they're way ahead. So we're looking to these types of cities for inspiration. We don't want to reinvent the wheel, but we also want to be particular to Paramount. Huntington Beach. So in summary, when we look at all these different cities, there's really no template. There's some ideas, but every city is different. Every city is unique, and that's you really got to consider. Common themes, though, are to be flexible, to work quickly. So the traditional process of somebody applying for a conditional use permit, getting an application a month or two in advance of a planning commission meeting and waiting, and that's not what we want here. We want to be able to do this quickly, but at the same time, we also want to consider the neighbors. We don't want to invite nuisances. Like if there is a residential area that's very close to a parking area, maybe it's not a good idea to have outdoor seating. So we want to think about that as we put together some guidelines. And also pedestrians. The sidewalks are for everybody. We want to make sure that we preserve, enhance, and promote walkability, and make sure that the public space is equitable, that it's inclusive, that we don't want to trample on anybody's rights to the same public space. So with this program, we're beginning with private parking lots and other private property areas, and then maybe moving on and looking for low cost, easy to modify perimeter barriers. We want to make sure there's safety, but we don't want to break the bank for huge permanent barriers. We're looking for a comprehensive approach that factors in a safe and secure outdoor dining setting. So we're almost ready with some guidelines we'll be presenting to the city council and getting it up and running. So that's really it. And if you have any feedback for us, that'd be great, and be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, John. Are there any questions for John?
None from Commissioner Bautista right now.
Okay. All right. How about from the staff? Any comments from the staff?
No, sir. Nothing from staff.
I just want to make a comment before you adjourn the meeting. I'd just like to congratulate the new commissioners, and this is Esparza, like I said, Bautista, Gutierrez, and Weisenberg. Congratulations to the Planning Commission, and I'm sure that all of us will work together. I've been in the commission for quite a few years, and I have seen the city really move into the right direction. The community with the people, everybody. So I just want to congratulate you. Okay?
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, well, with that, then, let's adjourn the meeting, and we will plan to meet again on July 14th at 6 p.m.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else, Mr. King?
That's all for me. Congratulations to everybody. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right.
This is
Thank you, gentlemen.
Esparza. Be safe.